this on my fourth channel. That's gonna take a I want to give double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to you elect out there who are faithfully and sincerely doing the work of the Lord, either in studying this truth or teaching it according to the doctrine which the Lord has put out, which we understand that true doctrine to be the doctrine that the apostles of Great Millstone are teaching. So today's lesson, like it tells you in the title, is called He Causeth All. Okay, we're going to get into the mark of the beast, all right, or the MOTB. Now, again, I'm going to try to be careful with my words today, because again, these devils, they scan our lessons for these catchphrases. So I'm going to be using a lot of code words or basically innuendos, but you all came out there, you should understand what I'm talking about. So to get started, let's talk a little bit about why we're going to talk about the MOTB today. All right, we're talking about the MOTB because of where these devils currently have you looking. Right now, these devils don't have you checking out the economic system or the changes that they are currently making. Right, what they're having everybody focus on is Ukraine. Right, and the war going over there. Right, everything has to do with Ukraine today. Right, I even on my Windows computer in the actual built-in news feed system in Windows 10, there's now a little Ukraine logo there, right? Like, who the fuck cares about what's going on in Ukraine? Well, I'll tell you who cares about it. These elites, and they want you to care about it. And why is that? Well, because while you're looking over there, you're not looking over where you're supposed to be looking at, right? Where are some of those places that you're supposed to be looking at? Well, it's the economic system that is being revamped in front of our very eyes, right? You see, the story that had me come up with today's lesson is the story of the Jamdex. Jamdex system that that's getting pushed out today, right? Or this week, at least, it made the news headlines. Now, ultimately, it got announced about in January that Jamaica was going to start to transition over to a digital currency. Okay, now that digital currency is called Jamdex. Now, Jamaica is not the only country out there who is moving over or making efforts right now to transition over to a digital currency, or what they call a CBDC, right? A central bank digital currency. Right? And we're gonna, in today's lesson, we're actually gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about this system spoken of in the Bible. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and read. And behold, there was peril because of the devices that would come into it, right? And that's ultimately what's going on, right? You see, Ezra here is describing what's going on in the world, in the vision that he was given by the angel, okay? He's seeing that the world was going through many perils, right? Perils means basically passing a path of danger, okay? And that's ultimately where the world today, as we're living in it, currently are, right? We're in a very dangerous place, right? Namely, us Israelites, us Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are in the land of America today. Okay, we are in a very dangerous place and living in a very dangerous time. And why is that? Well, because we are living in what is referred to as the Great Reset, right? Or the bringing forth of the New World Order, the NWO. And the thing about it, though these devils, these elites, these bankers, these world bankers, these globalists, though they try to put a friendly face upon it, it actually it is not going to be a friendly environment for you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and especially you who do not want to conform to this new system, right? And what is included in this new system? Well, first and foremost, it's what I'm talking about today, right? Taking of an implantable microchip in your hand or in your forehead, which is spoken about in Revelations 13 and 16, to participate within this system, okay? Without that, you will not be able to participate or be part of society, this new Luciferian system which they are building, okay? It is, there's many quotes that are brought out that say, actually, let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. This real quick. Let's see if I can get that quote from one of these devils who actually talked about how this New World Order would basically involve, or entering into this New World Order would involve you in taking allegiance with the devil. Okay, now we ultimately understand, that to be true because of the prophecy written in Revelations 13 and 16. And of course, now fucking Google is trying to fucking bring out all these new updates when I'm trying to show you this truth. Let's go ahead and see if I can get around this real quick. Okay, so what I'm looking for right now is this quote by this devil. Let's see. Talking about it's okay, I gotta work on getting a tablet that doesn't have such a shiny surface. But again, this is by David Spangler, right? He's a also author over at the UN, right? He writes, he says, no one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take the Luciferian initiation. Now, what is that Luciferian initiation? Well, it's taking the MOTB, right? It's like giving your soul over to these elite bankers, these true kings of the earth, okay? Or not true, I should say the current kings of the earth, because the true kings of the earth are us Israelites, us Negro, Latino, Native Americans, right? Us along with the Messiah, who's the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose true Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. We are the true kings of this earth, right? We're the true kings, priests, and nobles of this earth, who the Lord set up. Who eventually, on his second coming, he will set us up in that position, and the world will be ran as heaven upon earth. Now, these devils who have put themselves into a place of authority over you, over your family, your loved ones, over the entire world, they're currently moving forward with their agenda, right? Their agenda to bring forth this new world order where they can concrete and establish their control over the masses forever, okay? Now, like I said again, in them taking control, they have to do a couple of things. Now, first of all, they got to destroy the economies of the world, and we're currently living through that. How's it going, man? We're living through the inflation of our monetary system, right? The dollar is soon going to be taken down to zero. It's going to be worthless, right? And you've already seen this happen in many countries over in South America, where their economic system was destroyed, right? El Salvador is a perfect example of this, man, because of years of uprising and infighting and civil wars perpetuated by the Edomites, the so-called white people, right? The elites, the bankers, right? Their clandestine wars upon South America. What's happened is that Salvador has basically been ushered in to the New World Order, right? At least their economic system, that is, right? They're now using Bitcoin as their monetary system over there, right? As their monetary, what do they call it? Tender, okay? So that's why they're going to be one of the first countries to initiate the MOTB, the implant, right? Because you have to have a secure way of carrying your digital wallet, right? And at first they're going to say it's going to be through your cell phone and everything, but we've all seen those videos. We've all seen those videos where somebody is on the street minding their own business in these South American countries, and all of a sudden two guys come on a scooter, one of them jumps off and hijacks and steals the bystander's cell phone, right? Well, why do you think that they're always highlighting that? Well, because they're going to need to make a way where your money, your digital wallet is secure, where it's not going to be stored on your cell phone that can be lost, which can be left at home, which can break, right? They're going to come through and they're going to offer you a way to securely carry around your digital wallet, right? So that way you can have your money, you can have your important documents, your passports, and all these type of things, right? And they're going to say, you know what? You're going to need to get it in your hand or in your forehead, right? And there's tons of things which we're about to get into, which is going to show that these devils are already at work on making this these claims a reality, okay? And again, they're doing this because this ultimately is the agenda which they must fulfill to ultimately try to gain control of the world forever. Now, yes, they understand that you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, that you are the chosen people, but they also understand that they're the Edomites, and they understand that we have been given the kingdom of heaven because their forefather Esau sold his birthright, and ultimately his blessing was given to us, right, through our forefather Jacob, who the Lord renamed Israel, or Yasharallah, which means he prince power, right? And that's because we are the princes of God. We are the children of God. Okay? We are those spirits, we are those people who came down in Genesis 6, right? Us Israelites, how's it going? we are the you have the Mormons on their bikes out there spreading this misinformation, but they understand that us Latinos, they understand that we're the Israelites, right? This is why they're always friendly towards us Latinos and Native Indians, man, right? But and they're barely starting to understand that the Negroes are also the true Jews, right? Just like the rest of the world. Though they're out there believing their false doctrines of Joseph Smith and how if they help us, they also can come into the kingdom of heaven. But it's not true, because you Israelites, you are the true, you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you are the children of God. You are the chosen people, who are the only people who are going to be blessed in the kingdom of heaven. Everybody else will go into subjection under us, right? Now, be it if it's going to be a hard slavery or a light slavery, it's ultimately up to to your master, to the master of these heathens, right? So again, and again, like the scriptures say, man, according to their works, right? So the Lord is going to give certain one of these heathens a lighter slavery or a harder slavery, depending on what they did. For example, the Iranians, the Persians, they're going to get a lighter sentence than the Edomites, the so-called white people in the first 1,000 years of captivity under us and the Messiah. And why is that? Well, because under their reign, they didn't put such a heavy yoke upon us. They didn't put such a heavy destruction upon us. Now they did, afflict us, which they will have to pay for. But ultimately, it's not going to be as hard and backbreaking as these Edomite slavery is going to be. Hey, Shalom, Akim, Kawada, for joining me today. So back to what I was saying, right? Talking about countries, starting with Jamaica, who have taken on these CBDCs, right? The central banks digital currency, right? The CBDCs, right? Pretty soon, the dollars that you carry around in your wallets and your purses, they're going to be a thing of the past. Pretty soon, you're going to be carrying around digital currency, okay? That's going to be the truth, right? So if you have money saved under your mattress, saved in a bank, buried under the ground somewhere that you think you're going to be okay, man, these devils, they're going to rob you blind without you even knowing, man. And your dollars, the physical currency that you have, the US dollars, the cents, all this stuff, is going to end up becoming worthless paper. Just like in those images we've seen in Venezuela and all these other South American countries, where you would see the streets littered with that fiat currency, right? Fiat meaning basically by decree of the king, right? Basically, it's made up currency. Now, if you want to find a way to get around that for a little bit, what you want to do is you want to take your savings and buy as much silver and gold or physical assets, things like a house, tools, things that you'll need, physical things that you can barter, right? Things like coffee, alcohol, things that you can trade with people, right? These are the things that you ultimately want to do. But again, this video isn't about how to prepare yourself for the coming destruction of the economy, right? If you want to get into that, you go into my previous lessons. You can get into, you can search there. I talk a lot about it. Also, you can look up prepper videos on how to save your purchasing power, right? Your purchasing wealth, right? Because like I said again, these devils, what they're going to do is they're going to basically make everybody, they're going to put everybody over a barrel, and your only choice for food, for some sort of security, is going to be to go to these devils, right? At least for those people who have not prepared, who are not willing to wait out the storm, right? Those people are going to turn to these devils just like they did during these pandemics and that took the snake bite, right? And now they're finding out that they're fucked, right? Because now a lot of them are coming out with all these different diseases and everything, right? They're finding out that they're even more sick and all these type of things, man. You can't see that. See, if you're understanding this truth, you're actually blessed to see what these devils are actually doing, right? But a lot of these people like this man right here, were just waving. You couldn't see, but he was just waving his hand like an idiot. So that basically trying to show off on camera. See, basically they're walking blindly, man. They have no understanding of what's truly going on. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of these countries who are initiating some of these CBDCs, right? So let's go ahead and bring up my browser here real quick. Let me get rid of this. Get all this shit that fucking opened up, man. Fucking devils, man. Okay. So I needed that shit too. So older tab, so it takes a little while. Like I said, Jamaica is it just came out saying that they're going to adopt a digital currency for the entire country. Let's go and read it. It says here, Jamaica digital currency for national rollout in coming months by the central bank. Right? It says Kingston, January 31st, from Reuters says Jamaica will roll out its digital currency across country in the first quarter of this year as part of an effort to lower transaction costs and provide financial services to citizens who do not use banks, a central bank official told Reuters. The Bank of Jamaica said in December that it completed a pilot project that issued 230 million Jamaican dollars, which is basically $1.5 million of the new currency as efforts that comes on the heels of a similar project launched by a group of Eastern Caribbean nations, right? So right here, these devils, they're targeting the tribe of Levi, who are the Haitians, and the tribe of Benjamin, right? Who are the West Indians, right? The Jamaicans and all these West Indian nations here, man. You see, and also the tribe of there's tribe of Judah down there too, but mostly it's Southern Kingdom down there. Now, what you're seeing is did you see how they mentioned they put in $1.5 million in a pilot program? Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that they chose a particular group of people and they gave them basically $1,000 each, okay? But here's the catch. To claim those $1,000 of their Jamaican dollars, what did they have to do? They had to log into the system, Jamdex, and basically claim it and start using it through this digital currency. Now, again, they're gonna do this here in America, right? Pretty soon, all you people who are on unemployment, EDD, or who are being given a stimulus package, which is basically gonna be everybody here in America, you're going to be given this stimulus package, your benefits, you're going to be given to them through your new digital dollar, right? And to do that, you're going to have to log in to the digital dollar system, and you're going to have to claim it, and then you're going to basically use it at the stores like Cardenas, places like this place across the street right here, right? In all these stores, you're going to basically be able to go to the stores, bring up your digital currency QR code, have them scan it, and it's going to be pulled out of your digital bank account, your digital wallet, right? And they're also going to do the same thing eventually with your paycheck, right? Your direct deposit, instead of it going to your bank, you're going to have the option to have it go directly into your digital wallet, right? And this way, people can bypass the bank, bypass those fees, and they're going to make it very, very tempting, right? Because this is why right now, if you try to save money in your bank, in some banks there's negative interest rates, right? Which mean if you basically are saving money in a savings account, that money is basically, you're not making money on it, you're not getting interest on it, you're actually having to pay to store that money there. And besides the negative interest rates that are being applied to that, you're also basically losing money through inflation. Okay, that's the truth. That's how these devils are getting you coming in and going out, right? And this is the trap that they're going to set for you, man. They're going to give you that $1,000 to $2,000 digital dollars, and you know our people, man. Our people love free money. Everybody loves free money, and why is that? Because you've been reduced to nothing. You've been reduced to to taking less of your medication to try to save it. You've been reduced to having to live in a house with 4 other adults, friends, strangers sometimes, so you can make ends meet. You've been reduced to basically eating plastic at these fast food places, man, because you can't afford true, real food. You're now being fed GMOs, modified food, which destroys you at a molecular level, right? So these devils know what type of bait to put into their trap, okay? So, hey, Shabbat Shalom, and that's true. This brother right here in this car just actually said, happy Sabbath. Now, actually, the Sabbath Jew really is actually on Wednesday and Thursday, according to the lunar calendar. But one thing that we are in the Feast of Unleavened Bread for this next week, right? Because we just came out of our Passover, which, by the way, Happy New Year, right? Because again, remember, the Passover is actually the new year for us Israelites, man. Which is why now the days are longer. Spring is about to come, is coming through now. We're gonna start seeing things come to life, right? Because it is a new month onto us. This is the true new year, right? This is why you also see the Chinese, the Asian countries also celebrate their New Year's around this time, because they are also following a similar Hebrew calendar, which is based off of the lunar cycles, right? But I digress. Again, that's another video for another lesson. So back to this article about Jamaica. It says the majority of Jamaicans are financially excluded. Natalie Haynes, a deputy governor with Bank of America for bank and currency operations and financial market infrastructure, told Reuters in an interview last week. To get those persons into the formal financial systems, we decided that the central bank digital currency would be a good opportunity, right? This is so what they're talking about is getting people who are not in the banking system, because again, just like in Jamaica, here in America, you have a lot of people who don't have bank accounts, don't involve themselves in the system. They don't have credit cards. And why is that? Well, some people just don't want to do it. Other people, they know that the system is wicked and they don't want to get involved in it, man. They don't want to get taxed with overdraft fees and all these type of things. So what do? They basically use these check cashing systems, which that's a predatory system, man. And that just goes to show you, man, that these other heathen nations, that they're taking advantage. So these people, they're trying to get these people who have decided to opt out of the financial systems of the governments. They're trying to lure them in with that bank. They're trying to set a snare to get them to come into the banking system, right? Because again, what does the title of this lesson say? He calls us all, right? And if you know that scripture in Revelation 13 and 16, it says he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, right? So just like they're doing it over there in Jamaica, they're gonna do it here in America, man. They're gonna make it very tempting to get into this new digital currency system, man. So again, let's get back to that article. So it says, Haynes said the bank hopes to replace 5% of Jamaican dollars with a new digital currency each year. Right? What does that mean? That means in 10 years, they're hoping to be fully switched over to this new digital currency, right? In 10 years may sound like a long time, but it's not. And you know these devils are gonna increase even faster. They're hoping for 5%, but they're gonna have days where they're gonna have years where they're gonna put in 20, 30% adoption. Why is that? Because they're gonna make your money worthless. And you, just like they did in Brazil, because check this out. In Brazil, when Brazil was going through an economic crisis because I think they used something called the lira over there, their money became worthless. And why is that? Because the central banks over there devalued their money. They called in all the debts of their politicians, of the creditors, to pay back these massive unbalanced loans that the government basically borrowed, right? Which it's funny enough because all that money ultimately went back into the money of these globalists to build infrastructure, to do, build all these, the Olympics and all this bullshit. Well, ultimately, all that bullshit caused was for the people of Brazil's money to become worthless. And eventually what happened is people, just like every other country, like the Weimar Republic back in the 30s, 30s, where basically their money was worthless and they were basically running down to the store so that way they could buy things before the money devalued even more later on in the days. The same things happened in Brazil. And what do? The Brazilian dollar was still there, right? But they introduced jointly with it a new currency. And what did the people do? Because they realized that their value, their money, was safer, did not lose its value in the new currency. Everybody jumped right over almost immediately to this new currency. And what happened? That the old dollar, the old Brazilian lira, it still was there, but nobody was basically using it. The only people that were using it was the government agencies and all these type of things, all these other like old systems that needed it. But eventually it was decommissioned, and everybody was on the new currency over there. Same thing happened in Mexico, right? Which is why the peso of today was really used to be called the nuevo peso, because the old peso basically got abandoned and the new peso was adopted, right? And I remember that. And I remember because my family, we would go back and forth between Mexico and here, right? And I remember a lot of my family who stayed down there, they were all upset because basically it was 5 pesos to $1 US. They basically lost all that wealth, right? What they used to have, when they used to be able to, basically they lost a lot of their money, right? They basically 1/5. Their money basically became worth only 1/5 of what they originally had. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So again, though they may say they're looking at a 5% adoption rate every year, trust me, man, when your money is at stake, you're going to do everything you can to switch over to something that's going to save it, right? Look what happened in India, right? When the government came out and they fucked over the people, man. They said that you have, I think, this 1 week to cash out of to cash your old $50 and $100 rupees into the new currency, or you're gonna lose your money, man. There was lines basically across town trying to go into these banks to try to do these transfers. Now they eventually extended it because it was kind of crazy, but it just shows you, man, that when your money is at stake, you will do what you need to do to save your money. Okay, and ultimately, man, for those people who aren't looking out for the future, aren't watching out for their best ways, they're gonna be destroyed, man. They're gonna be taken advantage of, and they're gonna feel the worst pain during these transitions. So back to this: 5 million Jamaican dollars, $38,000 was issued to Jamaica's National Commercial Bank, a private financial institution, and JMD 1 million or $6,000 to Bank of Jamaica employees. So look at that, man. So they were giving Bank of America or Bank of Jamaica employees $6,000 of new currency, man. So that way they could get on board and they could basically start pushing this, man. You see that? And they said, it says NCB signed up 57 customers to use the new currency. The Bank of Jamaica said it's a different way to pay and allows for easy peer-to-peer transactions, said John Matthew Sinclair, Chief Product Officer of TFOB and NCB subsidiaries. Customers sign up for digital wallets where they can deposit funds in exchange for digital currency that can be used that can then be used in transactions. Jamaica's digital currency follows a similar program by a group of Eastern Caribbean nations launched last year called D-Cash, digital cash. Right? So you see these devils, man, they got it. They already did the research. They already did all basically the studying that they need to do, and now they're actually putting it into play. Why do you think in Biden's last State of the Union, he actually made an executive order to have America research digital currencies? Man, they're not researching shit. They're simply just putting it on the record, and all that research that they've already been doing. When you look into the Federal Reserve, they did that shit last year, right? They looked into CDBCs, man. They already looked at what it would entail in switching us over, man. Now they're just simply, checking off those boxes. So, and that's enough, right? That's enough about Jamaica. Let's go ahead and look into some of these other places. Let's see, for example, what's the other country? Nigeria. Let's read about Nigeria. It says Nigeria becomes first African nation to roll out digital currencies, right? So that right there shows that Africa also is involved in this, right? All the Israelites who are over there on the west coast of Africa, they're going to be involved in this too, man. They're not escaping. Ham is not escaping, man. It says Nigeria Central Bank earlier in February outlawed banks and financial institutions from transacting and operating in cryptocurrencies, saying they pose a threat to financial systems, right? So you see these devils, what they do is they ban the private digital currencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these things that the so-called people have come up with themselves, which really that's a red herring there, man. The CIA and all these clandestine organizations are behind that, man. And they simply did that so that way they could get digital currencies into the lexicon of the people, man. Now these nations, just like China, man, where they outlaw private digital currencies, they themselves now are setting up their own private digital currencies. The Central Bank of Nigeria joined a growing list of emerging markets betting on digital money to cut transaction costs and boost participation in the formal financial system. Nigeria has become the first country in Africa and one of the first in the world to introduce a digital currency to her citizens. President Muhammadu Buhari said in televised speech at the launch in Abuja, the capital, the adoption of central bank digital currency and its underlying technology called blockchain can increase Nigeria's gross domestic product by 29 billion over the next 10 years. You see that? 10 years. You see, these devils, they have something called the 2030 agenda, right? Where all these countries in the world have signed on to basically, be part of this 2030 reset, right? That's why they're saying 10 years. Like I said again, though they say 10 years, they're all gonna basically move forward a lot faster than what they're leading the world to believe. And that's enough on them. Let's go ahead and let's find out who else is doing this digital currency. There you go. My is close to my heart. Come on. Mexico, right? It says Mexico's central bank to launch digital currency by 2024. Look at that, man. The land of Issachar is gonna soon be on that digital lick, man. You see, and really, it's not really even the land of Issachar, man. It is really the land where Issachar is enslaved, because when you look at who truly owns the land over there in Mexico, it's the central banks, it's all these landowners who basically go back to the Spaniards and the people who basically were the true rulers there in Mexico. You know, back when the Issacharites, the native Indians were enslaved. Their descendants of the slave masters back then are still in power today. They're simply, instead of owning people, they own the corporations, they own the lands, they own the governments, everything like that, right? So don't get it twisted, man. Issachar doesn't own that land. He's simply enslaved to that land, just like you Judites, the so-called people, are enslaved in this land of America. Okay? Back to this article, it says, the central bank considers technology very important to financial inclusion. Mexico's government wrote on Twitter. It says, Mexico's central bank will have its digital currency by 2024. The Mexican government announced on social media. Although the development was not confirmed by the monetary authority known locally as Banxico reports that it will have its own digital currency in circulation by 2024. The Mexican government wrote late on Wednesday on its official Twitter account. The post said the central banks considered that these new technologies and latest payments infrastructures. Hey, brother, what do you know about the Bible?
Everything.
Everything, right? You want to talk about the Bible a little bit, man?
Okay.
You ever hear about the 12 tribes of Israel?
Yeah.
What do you know about them?
I watch it on TV.
Oh, really? What do you know about the 12 tribes? Do you know that you're part of the 12 tribes?
No.
Yeah, man. Us Latinos, us Mexicans, we are actually part of the 12 tribes of Israel. See, that's the secret that these devils don't want to know. That's the secret that these churches don't teach us. You see, these churches just say, hey, love everybody, God's white, you're poor and you're a savage, but hey, if you work hard enough, you do your work here on earth, you'll get rewarded in heaven. But see, the truth, brother, is that the Israelites spoken about in the Bible, that's us. That's us, Negro, Latino, Native Americans. We are the Israelites. And these devils, the so-called white men, they have us in slavery today, right? And we're right now slaves walking around their world, being their workers, being their cooks, being their cleaners, right? But see, the Lord right now, he's waking our people up. He's saying, if you wake up right now and you realize that you are an Issacharite of the tribe of Israel, I will put my truth into you and I'm going to wake you up to what's really going on. And that's the truth of the Bible, right? And the truth, and also the other truth, is that the Lord's true name, Jesus, that's not his name. You know what the Lord's true name is? It's Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is Hebrew for he is salvation, right? In God's name, his Father's name, it's not Jehovah, it's Yahweh, okay? That's what we were calling it on before these devils came and conquered us, brother. And you see, because what's going to eventually happen, what I'm talking about today, is that these devils, the reason why they're crashing the economy, the reason why they're destroying everything, they're doing all these wars, is because they're going to destroy the money. All the money you got in your pocket, all the money that's in your bank, it's going to be worth nothing. But they're going to eventually bring out a new dollar, but it's going to be a digital dollar. And they're going to say, if you want this digital dollar, you got to put a chip in your hand or in your forehead. Have you ever heard about that? The mark of the beast? When that comes, brother, don't take it. Don't take it, okay? God bless you, man. Take care. And there you go. You see? So that's ultimately the truth of what's going on, man. You see, our people, they don't know what's really going on because you got harlot houses like this church right there. They don't tell our people shit. They don't tell them anything close to the truth, man. What they're doing is they're out there basically telling our people lies. They're telling them, you know, hey, love thy neighbor, and that means love everybody, including your slave masters, and you know, love the people who have destroyed you, who the Bible calls the devil, right? That the devil is a fictional being that lives underground in some cave filled with fire, and he's there fucking poking you with a trident, right? For forever, man. Right? That's what these devils tell you, man. That's what they try to push over on us, man. But a lot of our people are waking up. Unfortunately, they're not waking up to the truth. They're waking up to their own beliefs, man. Their own paths, right? Like it tells you in the scriptures, man, that they've created crooked paths for themselves, right? And what are some of those crooked paths, right? I'm going to digress for a little bit. Well, some of those crooked paths are what is it? The meditation, you know, meditating and following that whole chakra system, trying to meditate yourself into the higher plane, right? Which there's nothing wrong with meditation, but you got to do it the proper way because that shit opens up portals in your body to these demons, man, right? And if you give your mind over to these false doctrines, what you're doing is you're committing spiritual fornication. You're bringing in a false understanding, a false doctrine into yourself, right? Well, people, you know, what are some of these other false doctrines that people are waking up to, right? That they can save themselves, that you're your own God, right? That through technology you're going to be able to live forever. That's a big one right now, right? Transhumanism. That's Esau's tip right there, man. He's trying to get everybody to believe that shit, right? And there's so many other things, man. Islam's a big thing that plagues our people, right? When you understand the book of Islam, man, that shit doesn't tell you anything, man. There's a few prophecies in there, you know, like it tells you like in the end days that the rich are going to pay a lot of money to dress as poor people, that people will be having sex on the streets like dogs. But when you get into the minutia of the Quran, it really ultimately tells you that that the Israelites are the chosen seed and that they're going to be the ones that are going to be blessed, right? But you got Ishmael over there, the Arabs, who think that if they keep the laws perfectly, if they do the righteous thing, that the Lord is going to overlook us Israelites and look upon them and choose them instead. But hey, Ishmael, that shit ain't gonna happen, man. The Lord chose us. We are the chosen people. Us Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Israelites are the chosen people of the Lord, right? And this is why the Lord right now has put the Spirit upon us to wake up our people, man. Right? Where do you see these Arabs out on the streets preaching about the Quran? No, man. The Quran is simply a book of laws written by their own people on how they can try to keep the laws so that way they can be given that favor by the Lord, right? Because again, you got to remember, the truth is that Ishmael, his heaven is right now. Why do you think they have all those sultans, all those rich Arabs over there buying up garage warehouses full of cars, paying millions of dollars to these women, these idiotic women, to go over there to get fucking, sexually abused and everything, man? Why do you think this is going on? Because right now, this world is Ishmael's kingdom, just like it's the kingdom of the so-called white man, the Edomites, right? This is why they're able to live as lusciously and deliciously as they do, right? This is why you Israelites, you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans are simply getting by off the crumbs of their table, man. This is why we're, like I told that man, we're their workers, their cooks, their cleaners, their laborers. See, we're here in the land of drawing waters to be their servants, okay? And when the system, and when the roles reverse, and we're put on top and they're put on the bottom, they're going to be serving us, okay? That's simply the way it's going to be. That's the truth of the Bible, man, right? We're not going to be floating around on clouds with little heavens and little babies with showing their little penises and everything. That's all ridiculous, man. That's a heathenistic understanding of heaven, man. So back to this, man. So it says the Post said the central banks consider that these new technologies and latest payment infrastructures are very important and valuable options to advance financial inclusion in the country. Okay, inclusion, that's the key word there, right? Who are they trying to include into the financial system? Well, it's all the people who don't fuck with the financial system, man, right? Like the Jamaican article said, man, that it is so easy to do peer-to-peer transactions. Well, hey, with these dollars, you can simply transfer money hand in hand, man. That's the easiest peer-to-peer transactions, man. You see these devils, they're trying to use their fancy words and they're trying to make it sound like it's the next best thing to sliced bread, right? But that's ultimately the devil for you, man. That's the devil who has put his poison into the ears of our so-called leaders, and they then are pushing that poison onto us, man. And pretty soon, don't worry, man. I was like, don't worry, but don't get it twisted. Watch, in a few years, you're gonna see terms like this: peer-to-peer transactions, financial inclusion. You're gonna see all these type of fucking catchphrases come into the social realm, man. When they start coming up on the news, everything, man, you're gonna have every fucking Judite, every Ephraimite out there thinking that there's some type of financial whiz because they're now in digital currencies, man. Just like you have, just how people get right now when they get into Bitcoin or digital currencies right now, man. But little do they know, all that shit's gonna lead to the MOTP. Okay? Well, let's go ahead and get on and let's find out who else is getting into this digital currency, right? Let's see, who else do we got here? Cuba. Look at that. Cuba, the communist country off the coast of Florida, which is a bastion for communism, right? Even them, they're getting into digital currency. It says, Cuba's central bank now recognizes cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Cuba will now recognize and regulate cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin in a move being billed as a historic for the island nation. Resolution 215, published Thursday in the official Gazette, says the central bank will set new rules on how to deal with digital currencies. Now, they may not be initiating their digital currencies, but they sure are going to mess with it. And just like them getting involved with it, they're gonna also get involved with that MOTB. Mark my words, man. The tribe of Ephraim, or I'm sorry, the tribe of Manasseh, you're also gonna be given that test, the hour of temptation, to take that mark of the beast. So, besides that, let's see who else is doing central banking. Who else is adopting it? Let's see. Our neighbors to the north, Canada. Canada is also looking into digital currencies. It says a digital loonie, that's what they call their money over there. Instead of dollars, they call them loonies, is coming, even if the Bank of Canada won't say it directly. Ethan Liu said the Bank of Canada has been publicly non-committal, but instead of looking to what it is saying, look at what it's doing. The Bank of Canada has repeatedly said it has not made plans to issue a digital currency ever since its blockchain trial was publicly revealed for the first time in 2016. So you see, these devils, like I've told you, man, like us brothers have been telling you, man, these devils have been working on the system in the background, under your noses, right? And now they're coming out saying, oh, look, we got this new solution. You see? It says, even in May, when the institution had already hired for a project manager for a central bank digital currency, Deputy Governor Timothy Lane said it was only fiddling around, and there was still no strong case for actually issuing one. He said largely the same in October. But the Bank of Canada has never said no to the idea of a digital currency either. All it has ever said was that it has not made a decision, that it has no plans, and it depends on the circumstances, and so on. At the same time, bit by bit, it and many other central banks around the world have inched deeper and deeper into this space. All the signs are there that the state-backed digitalization of money will happen one day. And there you go, right? What right now is Canada going through, right? It's going through those convoys. I think it's over right now, but basically their economy is also collapsing. Back after the 2008 recession, Canada went through a small spike of inflation, right? Your news didn't tell you that, but those people who were looking into the financial system, they know that, right? So you see, these devils, they've all been weakening and destroying their own money. Why is that? Well, because of what I'm reading to you, man. They're going to bring forth that digital currency, so that way you have a way to put that digital currency into your MOTB, that microchip they want to implant into you, because, or where's it at? There you go, into you, because that's the way, that's the bait that they're gonna put into their trap, right? Besides the money that they're gonna put on your chip, they're also gonna put in your snake bite status, right? That you're safe to travel in zone A, in zone B, in zone 1-3 or whatever, right? Hey, you don't have your RFID chip, you don't have your key to the city, you can't go into this shop, you can't go into that store, you can't go into this gas station, you can't travel on this train. See, that's ultimately where all this is gonna get to, man. So look at that, man. So like I said again, Canada is also looking into this, man. So there's no, as they say, man, fleeing up to the north. Right? A lot of people have in their mind that once America goes to shit, that they're gonna flee up north, man. But we've seen what happened during this whole pandemic, man. Canada straight closed the border on you people, man. They don't want your asses up there, right? Pretty soon you're gonna have to go to Mexico, man. And the funny thing is, it's just like in that movie 2012. Mexico's gonna close the border on you Babylonians, man, because they don't want your ass over there either and shit, right? So let's go ahead and but yeah, so as we get this started real quick, but yeah, man, like I said, you got Canada that's in it. Who else is in it, man? China. We all know China's behind a lot of the New World Order changes coming forward, right? You have their social credit system that got initiated a few years ago, now prevalent over there in China. Well, those things that you're seeing in China, including the digital currency, that is now coming over here. This article reads, it says China has a digital currency and people are starting to use it. Central banks around the world are looking at developing central bank digital currencies to modernize their financial systems and ward off competition from cryptocurrencies. You see that? And you see right now with the Olympics going on in China, there's a lot of discussion about the digital currency over there in China because China is actually showing off the CBDC, the China CBDC, over there at the Olympics. You could buy things with the digital currency, right? There's these restaurants you could go to that's all automated with robots and everything. You could pay with your digital money, and it's all done through your phone, right? And sometimes people even have little QR codes that they can take around and scan, right? You see, so the world is being introduced slowly into these concepts of a digital currency, man. And the world is just eating this shit up, man. And why is that? Well, because the narrative that is being pushed by the media, the world media, which is controlled by the world bankers, is making it appear as if it's a good thing. But where's your discussions? Where's your talks about these CBDCs being the thing that's going to get everybody to take that mark of the beast? Well, I'll tell you where it's at. It's right here at this camp, along with all the other camps that the brothers out there who are teaching this truth are talking about, man. It's not at these IUIC camps where they don't even talk about the mark of the beast. They say that there's no chips, right? That it's June, there's no microchip bullshit, right? Or all these other false camps, right? You see, these devils who are in power right now, who have bought and sold your so-called leaders, even your Hebrew Israelite, your black Hebrew Israelite leaders, I should call them, right? It's bought and sold them, and they're actually pushing the same narrative as what these bankers and these media centers are pushing, man. So let's go and read. It says, it's a lot of goddamn pilots killing me. All this wind is blowing up. It says, some 140 million people have opened wallets for China's new digital yuan as of October and used it for transactions totaling around 62 billion yuan, which is 9.7 billion US dollars. A senior Chinese central bank official said on Wednesday. However, Wu Changchun, the digital general of the Digital Currency Institute of the People's Bank of China, told Hong Kong's FinTech Week conference there was no official launch date for the digital currency, also known as the ECNY. Central banks around the world are looking at developing central bank digital currencies to modernize their financial systems, ward off competition from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and speed up domestic and international payments. China's efforts are amongst the most advanced globally, and the country has been running various trials and pilot schemes of different payment scenarios since last year. Wu said so far 1.55 million merchants could accept payments using the ECNY wallets, including utilities, catering services, transportation, retail, and government services. So you see, these people are working with the system. It's here, people. It is literally here. The beast system is being set up in front of our eyes. Right now, it's not that blatant, right? You don't see digital dollars being accepted at your stores, at your convenience stores, your banks, and all these things. But around the world, it's slowly creeping in. The infrastructure is being set up. Okay, China. If you're unaware of China's role in this, let me take you back to President Nixon. He went over there and basically talked to these devils, man. He went over there, talked to these devils, and basically made a deal with them that they would be the manufacturers of the New World Order, and that they would be brought into a prosperous light. Basically, they would be what they are today, right? They would be a powerhouse of power. They would be a powerhouse of right? And ultimately they gave in, and they agreed to do what these world elitists wanted and stuff. This is why they have all the power. This is why all the manufacturing jobs went over to China and got taken out of America, because it's all part of this new world order plan. Now, yes, China, it does appear that China and Russia want to kind of change the deal that they signed on to, and they actually want to take the reins and be the new leaders instead of these world elite bankers, these people at the World Economic Forum, right? And that's why you're getting a lot of the turmoil, the infighting amongst these people. But again, that ultimately is all prophecy. That's the Lord putting the spirit on these devils so that way they can fight within themselves, right? That fulfills the prophecy that the Lord would make the Egyptians fight against the Egyptians, right? As the Messiah said, man, how can a house stand if it fight against itself, right? And how can the house of Satan stand if it fight against itself? And that's ultimately what's happening, man. That's why you have Russia standing up against America right now, man. But again, let's see who else is I'm gonna get through all of these, man. There's a lot, right? But I thought this is a good chance, good time to bring this out, man, because it's a 2-hour lesson, and you all gotta hear this, man, just so that way you get it into your mind. It starts sinking in. India's another big player in this. It says India to launch its own digital currency in 2022 and 2023. India's central bank will issue digital rupees in the 2022 and 2023 financial year, which begins April 1st, right? So in about a month, well, what is it? In about 2 weeks, when April 1st comes into play, expect to hear about India, a big positive story about how India is bringing forth a digital currency and how it's going to revolutionize the country, and there's going to be prosperity and peace and love, and it's going to, it's going to benefit everybody, man. But it's a bunch of bullshit, man. So, it's all propaganda. India's finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, said the introduction of the digital rupee would be based on blockchain and other technologies. India would be one of the world's largest economies to introduce a so-called central bank digital currency, CBDC, if it sticks to its plans following the footsteps of China, which is testing a digital yuan. India's central bank will launch a digital version of the rupee in the next financial year. The country's financial minister said on Tuesday, introduction of a central bank digital currency will give a big boost to the digital economy, Nirmala Sitharaman said as she delivered the country's annual budget. Digital currency will also lead to a more efficient and cheaper currency management system. You see that? So it's going to start costing you money to have dollars or rupees in your bank account. These banks no longer are going to let you have a free savings account or free check-ins account. They're going to start charging you service fees, man. So either you could pay the service fee at your bank, or you could get a digital wallet and keep it there for free. Right? And then what else? The Reserve Bank of India will introduce the digital rupee in 22 and 23 financial year, which begins on April 1st. Right? And that's it, man. So basically, that shows you, man, that we've seen all these crazy things happen over in India with the rupee being the bigger dollar, the $100 bill, the $50 rupee being basically turned off, right? Basically being called invalid and stuff, right? And they did that in a big rush, right? And they also introduced digital payments back then too, right? Which is when you go over to India right now, they have the QR code payment system, man. You pay with your phone, and you do a digital transaction, right? And you still do it in the rupee monetary system, but pretty soon when they bring forth this new rupee, this digital rupee, it ain't gonna matter, right? You're not gonna have to deposit money into a bank, right? And that's the way these devils want it, man. They want to get you into that digital system, right? So now check this out, man. These are the big boys here playing. It says BIS Swiss. Now, if you don't know who BIS, that bank is, then you're not paying attention, man. The BIS bank is the first and foremost biggest and most powerfulest bank in the entire world. It is known as the Bank of International Settlements. Your Social Security card and all these other financial institutions around the world all report to the BIS, and your Social Security number, it's held there at the BIS, man. Right? When it talks about the Federal Reserve and the chair, the secret chair that sit there, it's the BIS and the other elites of the world, man. Switzerland is one of the homelands of the elites of the world, right? All these little hatters, these 1948ers, who are the bankers, the elites of the world, they all live, for the most part, they all have little chalets there in Switzerland, man. And where's Switzerland? It is in the heart of Europe, right? The heart of where the Bible refers to as the bottomless pit, okay? Why do you think Switzerland never goes to war? Why do you think all the Nazis basically fled there? Why do you think Switzerland was always left out of turmoil, man? Because that's the seat of where these elitists live. That's their homeland, man. That's why when you go there, man, it is so beautiful. The food there is the most nutritious. There's no GMOs there whatsoever, man. The people there are living like kings, man. So, but again, the reason is because Switzerland is one of the major homelands of these devils, man. Though you got the land of Israel, these devils are trying to make like their headquarters. These Amalekites, their place. These, the bankers for the most part, and also the bankers who are not small hats, they're just regular Edomites. They all basically reside there, man. And if you want to get back into that, of how that happened, you got to go back to the time. I think it was around 1200 when you had the Crusades. The Crusades going on, and it was the end of the Middle Ages, right? Well, during this time, you had one of the last battles to take place there in the land of Israel, right? Where you had the Knights Templars, who basically were trying to defend Israel, but they ultimately failed at it. They ultimately failed. Fucking bitch. Sorry, Aki, my tablet's being an asshole right now. Right now I'm trying to find my biblical timeline. Here it goes. But, like I was saying, back in the time of the Crusades, when you had the Knights Templars, who we know today were the forerunners of the Freemasons today, the Knights Templars back then, they actually, after losing one of the major battles in Switzerland, here it is, you can see. Here it goes. There you go. So this took place. So you go ahead and pause the video and read that. I'll go and read it to you. It says, at night it says, in 1291, it says, founded 2.5 months after the last Crusade battle and fall of Acon, A-K-O-N, which was the last stronghold of the Knights Templars, in May 18th, 1291, the Templars used their vast fortunes, newly gained power, to help establish the Edomite banking establishments, which would lead to the rise of Edom's Renaissance and the bottomless pit. Okay? So you see, the Knights Templars, after they fled out of the land of Jerusalem, they ultimately went into the land that we know today as Switzerland, right? And the Knights Templars basically set up shop there, right? Now, yes, you had Jakes amongst them, and basically part of all that. But this is about 100 years before the Renaissance. This is right before the establishment of the Medici family in Italy. And who were the Medicis financed by? The Swiss bankers, the Knights Templars, who had established, who were basically gold lenders, right? And the Medicis, they then created an incredible network of banking systems that raised these Edomites to power, right? And when you look at the Medicis today, guess who the Medicis are today? They're the Habsburgs, right? That elite family of bankers that exists today. Those are the Medicis, right? And then the Borgias, a lot of people say that the Borgias today are the Rothschilds, right? I would believe that, but again, I haven't actually done the research to actually, go into it myself, but I know that's what they say, right? But again, the Borgias are spread into all these elite families, man. But so back to this, man. This is why Switzerland has since the Renaissance, which was the rebirth of the Edomite nation, right? Switzerland has always been hands off to wars, to the globalists, to any other nation, man, because that was the land which these devils see, man, as their own place. So back into this article talking about how Switzerland has now also adopted a central bank digital currency. And we've all seen the videos, man, where they're there getting these implants already, and they're already making payments with their hands and opening up their doors on their houses. It says the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, Swiss National Bank, and 6 exchanges complete wholesale CBDC trial. So they're done. They're already done testing out these digital currencies, man. They're ready to roll this shit out. It says Citi, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, Hypothekabank, Landsberg, and UPS also took part in the test. And this is in January 13th, 2022. Switzerland is practically ready to launch a whole Okay, let me adjust this, man, because right now it's showing me this website as if I'm on a mobile device, and the layout is fucked up because the web design on this site is fucking bullshit. Let me just load this site like a desktop site to get it to load better. Switzerland is practically ready to launch a wholesale central bank digital currency. Working in concert, the Bank of International Settlements, the Swiss National Bank, and the country's stock exchange, SIX, have test-driven the integration of wholesale CBDC. Also included in the prototype were 5 commercial banks: Citi, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, Hypothek Bank, Landsberg, and UBS. Wholesale CBDC is not to be confused with digital currency issued by a central bank that would find its way into retail bank accounts, something Switzerland has already rolled out. Wholesale is, in this context, is all about connecting financial market structures and streamlining transactions so that the digital cash token can be instantly swapped with a token representing another financial asset. For instance, and done in such a way that any credit risk is removed from the system. Now, why do they do that? Why are they not taking on a central digital bank, but they're finding a way to swap them, manage them, and control them? Well, because everybody knows, man, if you don't got a Swiss account, baby, then you ain't about it, right? Because you see, these devils, they don't want to be involved directly in it. They're gonna be the head of the system that controls it, man. So, let me get some water real quick on here. But yeah, so again, if you've known anything about Swiss and Swiss bank accounts, they're that group hidden behind the curtains, man. Though they play themselves down, they're really some of the powerhouses in control of the financial system, right? Which is why they're setting up a system to control and manage central banks, because you see, all the elitists of the world, all these people who are part of the world economic system, they're still going to be transferring money to their Swiss accounts. They're going to be they're going to be dodging taxes, while you people out there are going to be paying taxes and shit. So you see that, man? So everybody is moving aboard. So who else besides Switzerland, right? And somebody, let's see. Well, we have the nation of Israel, right? And I'm not talking about you Negro, Latino, Native Americans. I'm talking about the 1948ers, the small hatters, the people in the land of Israel today, the Israelis who claim to be the Israelites who are in fact Edomites, right? In fact, the synagogue of Satan. It says, banks of Israel accelerating preparations for digital currency. It says, Jerusalem, on November 29th, from Reuters, reported, Israel's central bank is accelerating its study, research, and preparations for the possible insurance issuance of a bank shekel, of a digital shekel, aimed at creating a more efficient payment system. Bank of Israel's governor, Amir Yaron, said on Monday. Yaron told a conference that the bank, similar to other central banks, had not yet decided whether it will issue digital currency and was still examining the issue. We are committed to being at the forefront of economic and technological knowledge in this field, he said. And of course, man, because they're the ones who are actually initiating it, man. You see, the Rothschilds and all these Steins and Becks and Bergs, they're all behind this shit, man. They're the elitists, they're the bankers who are pushing the system through. It says, the Bank of Israel began to consider the possibility of issuing a central bank digital currency in late 2017. But a year later, a team established to study the matter recommended against a CBDC issue in the near future. In May, the central bank said it was once again considering a digital shekel as payment methods unrelated to the central bank's money base developed. The central bank's ability to navigate monetary policy may be impaired, Yaron said. Therefore, central banks have a unique role to play in preventing fragmentation and ensuring that the payment system becomes even more uniform and efficient. One way to do this is through CBDCs. So you see, these devils, man, they're getting the system set up, man. Even these Amalekites, these so-called small hatters, these so-called Jews, they're getting in line with this agenda. Next, let's go ahead and see who else is on board with this CBDC adoption. It says, oh, well, look at that. The European Central Bank. What is the European Central Bank? Which is the banking ahead of the EU, which is basically France, Germany, all those European banks, which the Bible refers to as the beast in Revelation. Well, it says a digital euro. Our work aims to ensure that the digital age citizens and firms continue to have access to the safest form of money, central bank money, that is. Digitalization has spread to every corner of our lives and transformed how we pay. In this new era, a digital euro would guarantee that citizens in the euro area can maintain costless access to a simple, universally accepted, safe, and trusted means of payment. So you see that? And if you go through, it basically talks about all the benefits of the ECB, the European Economic System, the ECE or whatever, the European Economic Community, what is it, ECC, excuse me, that, you know, what they're doing and how they're marching forward with the adoption of the central bank digital currencies. Okay, so there you go. So now you got your European countries involved in it. All countries that are part of the beast system, they are now also looking at accepting these digital currencies. So who else? Looky here, man. Don't be surprised, but look, America now Biden's decree, his executive order that he just announced in his State of the Union, has now made it official. America is now going to get into the central banking digital currency system. Okay? The article from Reuters says Biden orders government to study digital dollar, other cryptocurrencies risk. Now, again, if you've been paying attention, you understand that this is the first time that America has looked into the digital currency, man. The Federal Reserve, since 2020, has already made efforts into establishing a system, a process on switching over or issuing a digital dollar. Okay, and if you've been in the streets for a bit longer, you also understand that these devils have been working on this even before that, right? Does the term Amero, does that sound familiar? The Amero was the proposed new monetary instrument that was going to be used between Canada, Mexico, and America, right? Just like the euro is used over there in the European Union, the Amero was going to be used over here on the west coast of the world, right? In the Americas, right? And that was going to be a way that these devils established it. Now, the Amero did come out, but it mostly was being used as a international banking instrument, right? The banks in Mexico, the banks in Canada, and the banks in America use this Amero to transfer funds in between themselves, right? Now, what they ultimately did with pushing forward this Amero is that they established policies, agendas, and legislature to bring forth the digital dollar and the things that it's going to have, right? This is why the Mexican digital dollar, the Canadian digital dollar, and the American digital dollar is going to be interchangeable. So let's see what it says here. It says on March 9th, U.S. President Joe Biden, an Edomite, signed an executive order on Wednesday requiring the government to assess the risk and benefits of creating a central bank digital dollar, as well as other currency issues, the White House said. Bitcoin surged on the news as the administration's holistic and deliberative approach claimed market fears about an immediate regulatory crackdown on cryptocurrencies. In midday trading, Bitcoin rose 9% to $42,000 per Bitcoin, on track for its largest percentage gain since February 28th. Now, ultimately, what's happened is, you see, these wild, free digital currency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, right now they're being let loose into the market, so that way the early adopters and the people could get into them. And ultimately, you could start being familiarized with them, and people could start building out systems which would be beneficial to a digital currency, right? But eventually what's going to happen is that all these digital currencies will eventually be outlawed to a certain extent. Outlaw or abandoned for the most part. People are basically just going to go into the digital currencies that are offered by the government, right? And what's going to eventually happen is that the only is going to be the very few technically literate are going to hold on to these private digital currencies, and it's going to still continue to be traded amongst these groups, and that's it. But it's not going to get that widespread thing, which is why I've always told brothers, man, that the wealth or the money being made out of these digital currencies right now is all speculative, which means the only reason why Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and all these other cryptocurrencies right now have value is because people believe it's going to have value in the future. So again, once things get more established and these governments get their hands on the system, it's gonna basically calm down, and ultimately those Bitcoins, those Ethereum coins, they're gonna go down. And again, that's just the way the system's gonna be. Now they're gonna be interchangeable. You know, you'll be able to pay Bitcoins or digital dollars or Ethereum or digital rupees or the digital shekel. You'll be able to do whatever you want, right? But for the most part, it's because it's all gonna be one worldwide digital system, okay? That's the way it's going to be. And there eventually will come out of this digital system one monetary instrument, right? And it's going to be used all over the world. And it may be the digital dollar, but who knows? The point being is that it's going to be the system of the beast. And this is going to be what's going to get the majority of people into the mark of the beast system, okay? Fucking bitches, man. These things are pretty handy, man, but they get all jacked up when they fall. Okay, so there you go, people. You have it. We just read off, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 countries, and there's many more, because there's a page called the AtlanticCouncil.org that shows all the countries in the world right now who are moving forward with their adoption of the digital currencies, man. And there's 40 in waiting that are testing out right now digital currencies. So again, your dollar is dead. Your money will soon be replaced by digital currency, right? And the way it's going to work is like, at first it's going to be all used on your phone, but pretty soon they're going to mandate for you to take that that money, that currency, in your into your hand, into your body, to complete the security of that card. Now, what is that? What does that all entail? Well, let's go and read it right here in Revelations 13 and 16. Let's get back into the scriptures now. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's 666. Okay? That right there is the prophecy which we're soon coming upon. Right? That's one of the last major prophecies that need to come through before the second coming of the Messiah, right? If you understand prophecy, you understand that it's that prophecy of the mark of the beast that will go through then World War III, right? The prophecy of Armageddon is going to then come, and then the second coming of the Messiah, right? Of the one who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, okay? That is the truth, man. So, besides that, let's go ahead and read how this chip, this thing that they want to implant into your body, how that's going to play out, right? Because what we just read right now is not talking about the implantable microchip. It was simply talking about the digital currencies that all these governments are adopting right now. They're going to move over to. Well, let's go and see where their plans eventually will go to, right? And if you're familiar with the Economic World Forum, you understand who they are. They basically are the unelected de facto leaders of the economic system of the world, right? You have that guy Carl Schwab, or Klaus Schwab, right? Who let's go and get that article I found real quick. Well, it's not really an article. It was a PDF. It's their white paper. Basically, their announcement of what the future is gonna bring forward. It says the World Economic Forum has a global digital identity planned, right? So you see that? So they have planned a world digital currency, right? A chip to put into your hand or in your forehead, right? This is where ultimately how you're going to be able to use this money, these digital currencies that are being set up, right? This is going to fulfill the prophecy I just read in Revelations 13 and 16. It says, Davos, Budapest, right, where they just recently had that World Economic Forum, is proposing a global digital identity system that could allow microchips to be implanted into people around the world by, they say 2016, right? So this is already in 2015 when this was announced. And we're already seeing people implanting these chips in their body over there, namely in Switzerland, man. According to the report, the screenshots provided by newsworthy at newspaper The Culture. In February 2022 report, the digital development, the power of data intermediaries, which is the white paper that the World Economic Forum released. The World Economic Forum has said to support digital identity laws in the United States and the European Union. The World Economic Forum staff there found that the C-19 pandemic underlined the power of medical data for so-called jab passports, which could form the basis of a new digital identity system. See that? See how it's all connected? This is what they said. It is clear that these passports act as a form of digital identity. To access meeting places such as bars and restaurants and can address digital inequality. You see these devils, man, they're going to make it seem like if you don't have one of these implants, that you're not, that it's not, this is not being equally provided to the minorities, right? That you're being left out, right? See, they're trying to make it seem as if they're doing you a favor. It says, the report said, on a collective level, the jab data represents a critical public health benefit. While passports are already available electronically on smartphones, the World Economic founder and CEO, Klaus Schwab, talked about implanting digital IDs in people. In a video discovered by Worthy News and news partners, the Culture Grant, an interviewer asked Schwab in French, "We're talking about implantable chips. When is that?" Schwab replied in 2016, saying, "Definitely within the next 10 years. And at first, we'll implant it in our clothes, and then we might imagine implanting it in our brains or in our skin." He added excitedly, the World Economic Forum investigative report this month confirmed that the organization sees as a merging of the physical, digital, and biological worlds in the pipeline, which means they're going to meld man and machine. They're going to make you into a computer, right? And they're going to own your soul. That's ultimately what these devils want to do, okay? But let's go ahead and, one thing I want to show you real quick, if you don't know what the World Economic Forum is, or if you haven't actually seen their logo, I want to highlight it real quick, because these devils, they think they're slick, man, but they're not. And the thing is that the Lord, he's putting it on our spirits to find out these truths, man. But let me show you what this World Economic Forum looks like, right? We've all seen this, right? We've all seen, fucking bitch. We've all seen that, right? Well, look at the parts in red, right? You got your 666. There you go. These devils use 6 all over everything, man. Why do you think that devil Biden, he did it twice, right? He came out like in his news report, making it seem like it was all impromptu. He's all rushing into the White House, and he says he doesn't care if it takes 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 hours. He's gonna get it done. You see these fucking devils, man? They do this shit, man. They do this because they understand what's going on. They're putting spells upon the people, man. Right? They're communicating with their powers and also between themselves. Right? This is just the way that the devils work, man. And why is that? Well, let's read this. This is let's see. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Ye Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? And that's ultimately what these are. These CBDCs, this slick talking and hiding numbers in the speech, right? the planning of the World Economic Forum to bring forward these digital IDs and making it seem as if it's a benefit to you. If you don't have it, that you're missing out, right? That they're doing you a favor. See, all of these are devices of the devil, right? The slow crawl, the slow adoption of these new digital currencies. Right? Pretty soon you're gonna have bums out there with these little digital machines, man, so that way they can take digital dollars and shit, man. That's the way I've already seen it, right? You probably all seen it, man. It was funny, right? You had these homeless people with little credit card readers, man. It's only gonna get more comical, man, as we go forward, man. And the world is just gonna see it as something that's just normal. But to us here, who have been given the eyes to see, who know the devices of Satan, know that the devices that he's using, it's going to be comical to us, man. We're going to laugh at these things, man, because it's all written in the scriptures, man. The Lord makes it very plain, what's coming, man, that we understand what these devices of the devil are. Now, what are some of these devices, right? I just mentioned some of them. The other devices is the economic turmoil, which we're soon, after this whole Ukraine thing program finishes, we're next going to go on to the economic crisis, right? The dollar is going to become worthless. Hyperinflation is going to become a real thing, right? That's a device of the devil. You got famine, right? Famine, which is building up now. These devils for the last few years, since about 2010, they have been putting into high gear to shut down these farms, to kill off these animals, to basically infest the food system with GMOs and these food-like products, right? So that way, and ultimately, they've conglomerated and brought together all these what do they call them? These avenues for the food chain, right? So that way, when one thing breaks, the whole system comes tumbling down, right? You don't have local farms anymore. You don't have local producers of meat. You have big conglomerate corporations who make the food for you. That food gets shipped thousands of miles across country so it can land on your plate, right? The whole farm to fork initiative by the UN, it's all part of it. Yep. Damian Ramirez brings out Jeremiah 13 and 23. He says, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Esau is accustomed to doing evil. Exactly, Akim. See, these devils, though they pretend that they're trying to help you, man, they're gonna fuck up the system. But it's ultimately by plan. Pretty soon, you're not gonna be able to get by in a system of that is set up, man. You're not gonna be able to squeeze by within the cracks, man. Everything is gonna be accounted for, right? You're gonna need to have that digital identity to use digital currency, right? And at first they're gonna make that digital identity something that you can get on your phone, but pretty soon they're gonna have you implant that digital identity into your hand or in your forehead, right? And that's simply gonna be the way that it's gonna be, right? There is not gonna be a way around it. It's like trying to drive in the United States today without a driver's license. Yes, you could do it, you can physically do it, but if you get caught, Esau's gonna throw the book at you. He's gonna have you your car impounded. He's gonna give you tons of fines because he has established a system where he controls everything, right? And if you want to be able to drive to go places, you gotta go to him to get that driver's license. You gotta get all those things, right? And that's the truth about it, man. That's how it's gonna be that's how it's gonna be with the digital dollars, man. So, but that's it, man. Let's go and get into this. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:7, and this ultimately is talking about how is it that these people that come by, slow down, read these signs, or listen to what I'm saying, how is it that they don't see this? How is it they don't perceive what we're saying out there on the streets every weekend and online every week? How do they not perceive the war in Ukraine, the economic collapse, the famines, the wars? How do they not see all these things are tied together? Well, because they are caught in a strong delusion that has been sent to them by the Lord. It says, this is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. Get it real quick. It says, and actually I'm going to start at 2 and 7. We're going to read this whole thing all the way down to verse 12. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Right? So these devils, these Edomites, these so-called Caucasians, they've been put into power. They've been put into position of power by the Lord himself. And they're going to continue to do what they're doing until the Lord himself takes them out of the way, man. We're not going to rise up. We're not going to take guns. We're not going to form a coalition or establish a convoy and destroy his system. No, man. Esau got this shit wrapped up. Esau has everything already in the bag. He's just slowly rolling it out. And this is ultimately why we need the Lord to come and save us, man, which is what's going to ultimately happen, man. Right? But the only thing we got to do until that happens is we got to be out here consuming these devils with the words of the Lord, telling the world what they're actually doing. So that way those who believe in the Lord, have faith, will turn back and basically come to the Lord before the Lord destroys them. And those who don't, well, we'll see you in the kingdom if you're an Israelite. If you're a heathen, we'll see you on our fields. Continuing. Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, right? These Edomites are being revealed for the wicked that they are, the wickedness that they've done, that they're doing, and who they are as a people, right? The Edomites, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, right? The spirit of his mouth is us Israelites out here, us prophets, Lord willing, that's us, who are out there preaching this truth, who are telling you all came out there, who are studying this truth, who are doing what you need to do to please the Lord, right? You're coming back to your true heritage. You're finding out who the wicked are. You're finding out that these white people and shit, right? That they're the devils, man. Whom the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, right? Because the Lord will ultimately destroy these devils when he comes. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, right? Because these Edomites, these so-called Caucasians, they are coming as if they're God, right? That they're going to save the world, that they're the chosen people, right? They have made themselves to be the light of this world, which really they're the darkness of this world, man, right? And they are making the people believe that it is only by their good graces, these Edomites' good graces, that we have a civilization, that we have a safe place to stay out, where it's them, in fact, we're causing all these wars, all these famines, all this destruction in the world, right? And it's becoming very evident, right? The Lord is revealing it. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And you see, ultimately, man, the people who are taken by these devils' lies, by the whole facade that Esau has set up, that they're the good people of the world, that they're the ones bringing forth the salvation. They're the ones who ultimately are going to be taken by these devils, man, and their traps. It says, verse 11, and this is the point of why the world is blinded to the truth and why they're not going to turn, why they cannot comprehend or even fathom that it's these Edomites, these Caucasians, who are behind all this, man. Verse 11, and for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, right? So all these people that you're seeing out here, who ultimately are doing all this wicked, who are following along with these Edomites' plan, who are going to get the snake bites when they're told to get the snake bites, right? or they're gonna be the ones out there signing up for these digital wallets when they come out, or are gonna be the ones taking these implants when they're told to do it, right? These people of our nation, the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and anybody whose father's lineage goes back to the bloodlines, those people have been sent strong delusions, right? They've been sent these Joel Osteens, these T.D. Jakes, these Kamala Harris, the what's the other chick, man? AOC, right? All these social justice warriors out there preaching love and tolerance, and that if we all work together, it's all gonna come together, and we're gonna prevail, and things are gonna be better. But you just gotta be involved. You just gotta vote. You just gotta involve yourself, right? Right? It's what is it? Vote or die. See, these devils, they have put out through the power of the Lord such a convincing lie, such a strong illusion that it is causing people to be delusional in the belief, man. You see, because even though they call us conspiracy theorists, I'm going to tell you who are the real conspiracy theorists, man. If you're out there thinking that the government really wants to help you, that the elites of our society are there to benefit us, that they're not putting that they're not putting poisons in our food, those people are the true conspiracy theorists, man. Those are the people who really don't understand what's going on. And the brother Damian Ramirez brings out Daniel 8:25, a beautiful precept according to this. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And what is that craft? That craft is his bureaucracy, his legislature, his GMOs, his snake bites, all these things that are prospering in this world, man, that are being pushed out, even though people are being caught off guard and know that this shit's dangerous, know that this is ultimately going to lead to a bad place. People are still doing it. They're still going along with it because they cannot conceive that this is what the devil is doing, man. They just think, hey, it's only a few people, a few rotten eggs, but hey, these white people are good, or these white people are okay. They're actually trying to help out, when they don't understand, man, that a lot of these people are deceiving them. That a lot of those so-called good white people really aren't white. When you go back to their father's lineage, they're actually an Israelite, or they're another nation, right? Continuing. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Exactly. These devils, these so-called white people, they're going to ultimately try to fight against the Lord when he comes and he shows up in his chariots, right, which we call UFOs, right? He's going to actually try to fight against the Lord, to destroy him, so that way he can continue to reign here in the world, right? But he's like, it tells you right there, man, he's going to be broken into pieces, man. The Lord is not even going to lift up a hand to destroy these devils, man. So let's continue. So, but yeah, man. So that's ultimately why these people are delusional, man. Which is why they're believing all these freaking lies and stuff. Which is why you're out there, man. You're telling your parents, your friends, that we're the Israelites. That what's going on right now is all planned, and you tell them all these nefarious things going on, and they can't be bothered with it, man, because they got basketball to watch, they got baseball to watch, they got an awards show to watch, they got gossip to listen to, they got to find out what Kanye is going through this week by Kim Kardashian, instead of asking why is Kanye on a lawsuit with Jeffrey Epstein, along with, I think it's Beyonce and Jay-Z and all these other people, right? See, people aren't there asking the real question. And why is that? Because they are taken with a strong delusion. And that's because they do not believe they have not believed the truth, and hence the Lord is going to destroy them. Okay? This is Isaiah. What is this? This is Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses, right? And this right here is not talking about physical Egypt. This is talking about America, right? Because America is the new spiritual Egypt, right? And what it's telling you here, man, is that destruction onto those people who lean upon the Egyptians, the new Egyptians, for help, right? All these people who are going down to these Edomites to get the snake bites, to get involved in their digital currency system. We're going to take these MOTBs, woe unto them, right? Destruction unto them. Who stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? So these people out here who are taking these snake bites because they don't want to lose their jobs, they're worried more about, trusting upon their boss, upon this system, because they have more faith in the system than they do on the Lord. Fuck your job, man. Get another job. It's just a fucking job, right? But again, that's the lot of many of our people, namely 2/3 of the Negro Latino Native American, meaning 2 out of 3 Negro Latino Native Americans are gonna follow their own crooked paths and are ultimately gonna perish because of it, man. That's just the way that the Lord has done it, man. Yep, exactly. The brother Damian Ramirez, the water brother, for providing these scriptures, brings out Revelations 11 and 8, and their bodies shall lie in the city of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified. Exactly. That Lord is crucified, meaning that the Lord here, the true image of the Lord, has been crossed out. Okay? It has been made erased and replaced by idols, by your favorite music idols, sports idols, this false image of Christ, and all these other doctrines. But the point there being is that here in the land where our dead bodies are, because these people here, man, though they're driving cars, they're shopping, they're doing all these things, they're literally dead people walking around. They don't know who they are. They're calling themselves Mexicans, Americans, blacks, Negroes, African Americans, right? They're dead bones, right, in the valley of death, and they haven't been woken up yet, man. So the point being is that we're right now in the land of Egypt, right? So again, those people who are going to go to the Egyptians for help, man, they're going to be found in a pitiful case, man. These people are going to find out that they trusted in the wrong one, right? And then ultimately the Lord's going to destroy them because of that, man. And see, this is and again, let's see. But again, this has all been prophesied to happen. This is all spoken about in the Bible. Fix this real quick. Come on, my Bible get all free stuff. This Hosea 1 and 4 and 6. Making this hard. This is Hosea 4 and 6. For my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? And who is the Lord's people? Who is the people being spoken about here who are destroyed because they lack knowledge? Well, it's the Israelites. It's you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and all you people whose father's lineage goes back to that bloodline. You are the destroyed people spoken about here in Hosea. Okay? It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. Right? And that's why when you look at our people today, man, they revel in folly, man. You got people out there with twerking contests. Basically, look at our so-called leaders, man. Bad Bunny. You got fucking 6ix9ine, that 6ix9ine idiot guy. They're all dressed like idiots. You got our people pushing all these abominable lifestyles and shit, right? See, they have But what's happened is we've been turned into a base people, man. You know, you look at some of the things that our people do for likes and all these things on these Instagram, it's embarrassing, man. Our people are destroyed, right? Exactly, man. And that's because the devil, the so-called white man, he set our people up like this, man. Yeah, exactly. The work of the devil, brother. Exactly. You know who the devil on the earth today is? It's these white people. You see, because when you go back to the Bible says that Satan, he would have a particular people on the earth today. And it tells you in Job 9:24 that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And who owns everything? Who runs all the banks? Who runs these worlds? Who owns these governments? The Bible says it would be the nation of Edom, right? And these white people, no, they call themselves white. They call themselves Caucasians. Exactly. But see, even Germans goes back to an older bloodline. A bloodline in the Bible called the Edomites, right? Yeah. Right? You had Jacob and Esau. Esau was the wicked brother, Jacob was the good brother. Us Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, brother, we're the Israelites. When Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt, and he was there talking to the Israelites, he was literally talking to the Negro, Latino, Native Americans. And let me tell you why we don't know this today. There's a prophecy.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's why I'm telling you. That's why the Lord brought you here today, so you can listen to this. But this is a curse. This is a curse upon us because we went off and we stopped following our God. Because you see, the God of the Bible, he's our God. He's not the white man's God. He's not the Chinese God. He's not the true African's God. He's not the Arab God. He's the God of the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the God of the Israelite. But he said because we did not follow his law, that he would destroy us as a people. He would make us forget who we were, and that he was going to make us serve our enemies in the land of our enemies. Let me read this. This is Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. You see that? So that right there was the curse that the Lord put upon us back in that time. This is like 3,000 years ago, brother, that this happened. He said, because you didn't obey me, because you wanted to follow these gods of these other nations, you didn't want to obey what I told you to do. Like it tells you in Deuteronomy that if you do not obey these commandments this day, I shall cause these curses to come upon you. That we would serve our enemies in a land that wasn't ours. Our land is over there in the land of Israel. For example, you and I, we're not Mexican. Our true biblical name is that we're Issacharites of the tribe of Israel. See, the 12 tribes of Israel, who are the 12 children of Jacob or Israel, we're the tribe of Issachar. Our forefather was Issachar, right? That's why when the Spaniards came over here and they caught us speaking Quechua, Quechua is just broken form of Hebrew, right? You see that? There you go. And check this out. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Because, you see, this curse that the Lord put upon us, it's not forever, brother. The Lord ultimately is going to redeem us, which is what's happening now. Because the truth of the matter is, we are at the end of the world. Well, this is what's happening next. First, the Lord has to wake us up. And he has to wake us up by giving us the truth. And the truth is let me read it to you. It's found in Hosea 1:10. And this is talking about us. Literally what's happening right now, me telling you this, is this prophecy coming to pass. This is Hosea 1:10. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel, right? Negro, Latino, Native Americans, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. Right? Isn't there tons and tons of blacks, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the world? We breed like rabbits, right? We have tons of us, right? Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. You are the sons of God. You're an Israelite. You're of the tribe of Israel, right? And Israel, the way you say it in Hebrew, is Yasharallah. Israel or Yasharallah, what that means, brother, in Hebrew is he, prince, power. You are of a prince of God. Okay? So see, we're not just regular people, man. We are gods upon earth. But these devils, because the Lord cursed us for a time, he put these devils over us, man. That's why they own everything. Which is why when we want to make money, we gotta go to them. Exactly. Because the devil right now is running the earth. And that's the way it is. Exactly. And like you said, what is going on? Well, like I said, right now the Lord, he's bringing this truth back into the world. So what you gotta understand, brother, is the first thing you gotta know is that one is like who you are in the Bible. You're an Israelite, and the curses and the reason why you and our people are like the way they are today is because we have curses upon us. But the Lord, on a very small few, he's gonna give them the truth, and he's gonna make them wake up. And you're still gonna be in this world, but you're not gonna be woken up. You're gonna be like, damn, the white man is the devil. This is the system, because we're living through something right now, which is called the end of the world, right? And I want to read this to you. I read it earlier, but I'm going to read it again for you so that way you understand what's coming. The whole world, including us Israelites, have to go through a test before the Lord comes back, okay? Because pretty soon the Lord's going to come back in what the world calls UFOs, but really they're the angels, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. In the Bible, it tells you. Yeah, that's exactly. The angels don't fly around with wings and have heart fit. That's bullshit. That's what these white people want you to think. The angels are the ones flying around on these little like beams of light. They look like little like stars just going around. Those are the UFOs. Those are the angels. And they come and they basically keep an eye on us. They see everything going on, and they mess with our mind. They give you visions. They make you feel things. Like the scripture says, man, the Lord establishes every man's step. So you may be, for example, you probably thought you crossed the street right here, just across the street. No, man, the Lord wanted you to hear this. He made you say what you said, so that way we could communicate. Look at that, see, the Lord, he didn't even know why he came over here, but see, you came over here, brother, because the Lord wanted you to get this truth. Now, what you do with this truth will also be up to you, but let me read to you real quick what these devils are going to try to do. Because like I said, right now, we are at the end of the world, and the Lord is waking up his people, the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it tells you in the Bible that only 1 out of every 3 Negro, Latino, and Native Americans are going to understand this truth and are going to wake up and are going to know what's going on. And the other 2/3 of our people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, that's bullshit, or they're going to be like, oh, I'm too busy for work. And what's going to happen is when this test comes upon them, they're going to fail and they're going to take the chip. But this is what it says. This is the test. Listen up. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. That's 666. So the reason I read that, brother, is because, like I told you, we're at the end of the world, and these devils, the bankers, these white people that are in power, they're going to try to kill us off. And they're not going to kill all of us off, but they got to claim our souls. And the way they're going to claim your soul is that they're going to offer you, one of these days, fairly soon, probably within the next year or two, or soon, they're going to offer you to take a chip in your right hand or in your forehead. Exactly. Right now, what you're going to be hearing next is after this whole Ukraine bullshit, they're going to collapse the system. The money in your pocket, the money you may have under your bed, the money you keep in that little piggy bank, it's going to become worthless. Right? Like what happened in the 80s in Mexico when the peso collapsed and they brought forth the new peso. What's going to happen is after we're going to go through a famine, people are going to be rioting, and eventually the government is going to come through and they're going to say, hey, we got a solution. We have the fix. And all you got to do is you got to take this new digital dollar, which we're going to give you, because they're going to give you a lot of money. And they're going to say, but if you want this digital money, you got to get this chip in your hand, or you got to get a chip in your forehead, and that's the mark of the beast. Now, if you agree to the devil and you take this chip, then you go survive in this society. You'll be able to buy and sell, but the Lord has now cast you away because it tells you here, and I'm going to read this to you. This is Revelation 14. It tells you what's going to happen to those people who fail the test, who eventually will exactly. I'm gonna tell you what hell is. This is Revelations 14:9. This is all the people who have taken the mark of the beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, the beast is basically the American system, the European Union, all this, westernized system, right? And worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, and his smoke of their torments shall ascendeth forever and ever. Now that right there, where their bodies are going to be thrown into the hell, like you said, hell is going to be America burnt up, because we are going to go into World War III. Nuclear annihilation is coming to America. This whole war with Russia, it tells you in the Bible that Russia, China, Iran, and even some of the people who call themselves the allies of America today are going to betray America, and all of them are going to shoot nuclear missiles upon America. And when that happens, that's what we're going to go up. The Lord's going to only take the 1/3 of Israel, the people who know God's name. Hey, brother, come here. I want to show you something real quick. You see this? This is the true image of Jesus Christ right here, right? He's a so-called black man, right? And his name is Yahweh Shai, right? This is how they used to paint him back in the Middle Ages. You see, like this. Look, this is God's image, right? His true name, brother, is Yahweh. Yahweh, right? Yahweh means He is. This is the true image of Yahweh Shai, right? Or so-called Jesus, right? So Jesus' true name is Yahweh Shai. That means He is salvation. So you got Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. So when you pray, you don't say, dear Jesus Christ. No, you say, please Yahweh Shai, save me. Please Yahweh, save me. Right? These are the true names, brother. You're an Israelite. You are the children of God, man. It's in the, I'm reading the Bible, right? I'm reading it to you, brother. So this is the truth. And if you want, man, you can stay here. You can listen to this word. I love telling you, answering any questions. And remember, I'm here, Lord willing, I'll be here every Saturday. So you can come here, listen, pull up a chair. But man, all these truths. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so you think that you're out here by yourself, you know this word, you're not.
Oh no, no.
People that are hearing you, but they don't want to come forward.
Oh no.
But they're hearing you though.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
That person who started doing this, they're over there across the street, over here, talking to you. Pay attention, but out here.
Hey, that's beautiful, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming over here, man.
Instead of telling you that you're being heard.
Good. Well, that's what the Lord wanted me, man.
Okay.
Like I said again, man, I was driving around thinking where I was going to go, because I used to do this other places too, down there on Sierra with the other brothers, man. And it's not just me doing this. If you go on social media, if you go around to other big cities, other brothers are out there. In fact, right now, I'm actually, there's people following me on YouTube right now watching this lesson, right?
Okay.
And there's a lot of other people.
Are we live?
We're live right now, so say hi to the people there on YouTube, right?
How you doing, everybody?
So there you go. See, so the thing is, brother, is this truth? This is just me. It's not just some random guy that's coming out here. It's Lord, it's the Lord putting out the people out there, man. And the thing is this is all prophesied, that the Lord, before the end, He would wake up His prophets, and He would put the Spirit on His people to wake up, to warn the rest of His people, to say, hey, you're an Israelite. We're not Mexican. We're in slavery right now to these devils who are ruling over us, and that they're going to ultimately try to do this wicked shit to us. They're going to try to put chips in our hands, try to make us do this stuff.
Yeah.
But don't fall for it, man. Remember, God's name is Yahweh. The Messiah's name is Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai and
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Exactly, and that means He is. Yahweh Shai means He is salvation. Those are our brothers, man. There you go, brother. This is it's beautiful, man. It tells you, man, that the angels rejoice when somebody gets this truth and understands it, man. Like you said, man, there's people who walk by, who hear, the scripture, like I just read to you, man, that our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because they don't perceive. See, the devil, like we had said in the very beginning, the devil has fucked up the minds of the people of this world, man. He has put the Lord, and ultimately the Lord put a strong delusion on our people, man. This is why they're out there doing wickedness.
But you get it, what you get, man. It's a scary shit situation.
Yeah, it is.
It'd be scary. You guys would be crying like babies. You'd be saved. And you're going to be saved. Why? Because you're not obeying the rules of the Lord.
Allah Yabashmasha, exactly.
That's all it is.
Khan.
And I hope to see everybody in heaven.
Amen. Hey, heaven, brother, is going to be here. You see, if you don't, because see, the people that don't make it, all the Israelites, because there are reincarnations in the Bible. You see, and for the 144,000 and the 1/3 of our people that do make it, that the Lord takes us up into those chariots, those UFOs, and we see the destruction, we're going to get brought back down here to earth, and we're going to be made the new kings, the new priests on earth, and all the world, all the 18 nations on the earth, brother, the 195 nations that exist on the earth today, all go back to 18 nations on the Bible. Those other 17 nations are going to be under us. We're going to be the new kings. We're going to be the new rulers. All these people are going to be at our feet, and we're going to be the ones living in these beautiful mansions, owning all this land. But one thing that we're going to do different than these devils that are owning it right now is we're going to rule this world in righteousness. We're really going to use the Bible to rule over the people, to do good things, right? The whole world is going to be heaven on earth because we're going to do things good, man. There ain't going to be none of this faggotry, none of this wicked shit around the earth, man. Exactly. You're not going to have to work to live. You're going to be able to live to live. Hey, man. Allah Yahweh Shemashai. Hey, Yahweh Shemashai. Bless you, brother. Water. Thank you. That's what's up. That's what's up. Water, bro. Hey.
Hiding because we don't want to come up here and face the truth.
No, I hear you, brother.
But I came up here to face the truth.
Hey, beautiful, man. Hey, the Lord sees it, man, and the Lord gave you this
What's your
truth.
name, man?
My name is Yeshaya.
Yeshaya?
Yeshaya.
My name's Joseph.
Nice to meet you. Hey, Joseph. Hey, that's the name of our forefather, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Added on to, man. Beautiful, man.
Right.
Hey, you be plus, brother. If you want, I'll be here every Saturday, man. So see that? So that's beautiful, man. You see, our people are waking up. Some of our people, the Lord does have mercy upon them and give them this truth. And that's the beautiful thing, man. And actually, it's beautiful because I'm actually about to be out of here, man. But I just wanted to get this last scripture real quick. This is Isaiah 42 and 9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and the new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." Seeing, you see that? So you see everything that we talked about today, everything that the Bible talks about, man, everything that is happening in the world, man, is spoken about here in the Bible, right? And the Lord does this, man, so that way He's righteous, right? He doesn't just spring forth and surprise you and is like, I got you. No, see, the Lord tells us, the Lord has made it clear what's going to happen, right? And if you understand what's happening, if you understand the playbook of the Lord, you know what's going on. You won't be found, surprised. You're not going to be, caught unaware like the rest of these 2/3 of our people are, man. See that man right there, man? It's beautiful. He understood and he got the names, right? Lord willing, he keeps them, right? And hopefully he comes back. But you see, the thing is that ultimately the Lord, is going to do what He wants to do. So that being said, hopefully today's video and lesson was edifying on him. Hopefully you see the adoption of these central bank digital currencies as the coming of this MOTB. Beware of them. Understand it's going to come. There really isn't anything we could do about it. But just like that man was edified and he was warned not to take this mark of the beast when it comes, you do not take the mark of the beast either, man. And and if you can, if possible, do whatever you can to prepare yourself for that day. First and foremost, get right with the Lord. And how you do that? You study. You study to show yourself approved, right? You study to do what is pleasing unto the Lord, right? You come back to the Lord. You start following the ways. You start observing our holidays. You let go of this world. You step out of this world, man, because I'm telling you, just like all the other brothers have been telling everybody, there's nothing in this world for us anymore, man. This place is a shadow of what it used to be, and for you to cling on to it, man, is a fool's errand. Okay. So with all that, I want to go ahead and give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rukokwadash, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rukokwadash. The water Akim for joining me today. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, and I'll catch you brothers next time. Shalom.